Then we'll move on to Sony, which I'm sure is many people's favorite conference of E3. Jack Tretton comes out with Vita highlights, claiming it's still at the beginning of its life cycle. We haven't forgotten about the Vita, guys. Trust me. No, seriously. No, your Vita, it'll still do stuff. You didn't just throw away money. An average of 10 games bought per Vita owner and 60% of game purchases made through PSN. Yeah, in other news, water's wet, religious people are crazy, and for Newswatch at 11 p.m., I'm Captain Obvious. You know what I mean? Like, of course they're going to buy them through PSN. It's just easier that way, especially when you're advertising the models as 3G and Wi-Fi. That's what you do with them. More than 85 titles will launch by the end of 2013, including Batman Arkham Origins, Killzone Mercenary, and several indie titles. This is for the PS3. I think it's for the PS3 and the Vita. I don't know if it's a combination of the two. Oh, and then he revealed a new Walking Dead Vita bundles coming in August. Has the first complete season with it, as well as the new episode that's coming out this summer from Telltale Games. So we have that coming. Speaking of bundles, there's going to be a GTA 5 bundle that's coming for $2.99 in September 17th. Comes with a pretty cool looking headset, but man, like, you're going to buy a PS3 like 2 months before the PS4 comes out? I don't know about that, you know? But whatever. So it's a decent price to get the game and I don't know if it's like a Turtle Beach headset, but that's what it kind of looked like. Then they showed PS3 games. They showed Last of Us. I'll have to admit, The Last of Us looks fucking dope. Like, I really want to play that. Like, that's getting rave reviews everywhere. Like, people going as far as saying, like, it's one of the best video games they've ever played in their life. And I gotta kind of, when I start hearing stuff like that, I gotta kind of detach myself from the hype train. Like, unlink those cars, you know what I mean? Like, scatter them. Because when you start talking stuff like that, like best video game ever made or one of the best games I've ever played, you know, when I sit down and play it, I'm going to expect this game to, like, you know, spit out a harem of women through the TV screen to, you know, take turns giving me blowjobs as I'm playing it. And no video game is going to be that good. You know, so, you know, I'll play it eventually. Like, I don't want to hear any more info about it. I'll get to it when I get to it. They showed Puppeteer, which is a charming 2D platformer. It looks a lot cooler than that Max Curse of Brotherhood that Xbox shown. I'm actually kind of jealous of this one, the Puppeteer. I don't know if that's going to be multi-platform or not. I think it's an exclusive to the PS3. Beyond Two Souls and Gran Turismo 6 is shown. Of course, Gran Turismo 6 only showed CG, so we don't know if it's a huge leap above Gran Turismo 4 or Gran Turismo 5. A lot of people didn't like 5 at all because like some of it had like PS2 type graphics, and like the cars looked like they were ripped straight out of 3 and 4 on the PS2. So we'll see. But those are all for PS3, so if you still have the PS3, you can play those very soon. They showed Arkham Origins. That's coming out October 25th, and there's going to be exclusive PlayStation DLC for that. That looks pretty cool. Oh, they finally revealed the PS4 design reveal. And, man, I can't get over how many people are up Sony's ass. It's unbelievable. Like, I've seen console wars, and then there's this. Like Sony is just, they're being praised as like the saviors of console gaming, and they have like the biggest line of, like, you know, they have a line so long of people lining up to give Sony executives blowjobs. Like, it's unbelievable. Idiots. But let me get through the rest of this conference, and then I got something to say about this shit. Oh yeah, and the PS4 design, it looks like someone took the like the concept image of the Xbox One and pressed the italics button because it's like it's slightly slanted. That I thought that was the best comment made on it, while following along with what people are saying as I'm watching the conference. So yeah, or two PS2 Slims glued together, like that's what it kind of looked like. It's not mind-blowingly amazing. It's serviceable, I guess. I don't really care about how the console looks, and I don't care about what hardware's in the fucking console. I care about what video games I can play on it. I don't I don't care about anything else. So all this like the aesthetics and whatever the console, I really don't care. People were losing their minds over it, like, oh, that looks so much better than the Xbox One. At least it doesn't look like a VCR. They pretty much look the same to me. You know, they're big black shiny DVRs basically. Get over it. Oh, then we go to the low point of the conference where there's an announcement of a Sony Pictures exclusive programming plan for the PS4. Oh man, that's something to be jealous over. Music and Video Unlimited Media Services will be available on day one for the PS4. So yay, you can still stream music and videos on your console like you have been doing with your PS3 for since it came out. 6-7 years. Yeah. But I'm sure that was a little stockholder thing they had to do, whatever. Moving on, Redbox Instant available soon. Live Events Viewer for pay-per-view content. I guess that's gonna update you as to like when the next UFC or boxing match is coming on. So if you're into that, that's cool. Support for Flickster. Then they go on to the games finally, and they show a game called The Order 1886. That's a PS4 exclusive. CG trailer again. Looks like you're battling like some supernatural monsters or vampires or some shit with these weird looking guns. Like I said, it's CG, so I really don't know how it's going to be played, but it looks interesting, I guess. That's as much as I can say about it. Then we go back to the February game announcements. There's a new gameplay trailer for Killzone Shadow Fall. Still looks terrible. Short CG trailer for Drive Club. New gameplay trailer for Infamous Second Son. I put complete with cringeworthy Nirvana cover at the very end of it. Did you guys catch that? Sounds like some band was horribly trying to cover Heart-Shaped Box. You can't just, man, you can't, like, Kurt Cobain has that very, very unique voice. Like, I love singing, I love Nirvana, but I really wouldn't dare to cover a Nirvana song because you have to have that deep, gravelly voice that Kurt had, and this just sounded really, really bad. The trailer for Infamous was pretty cool. It was pretty funny. That's something like I said, I'll get a PS4 down the road. That's something I'll definitely play sooner or later. So looks pretty cool. I'll tell you right now, that's probably the best exclusive PS4 has right now, if that's saying something. Let me see. There's a new gameplay trailer for Knack. The robot that I guess can like take particles and grow bigger or whatever. That looks pretty. You know, they didn't go on about Knack a whole lot. Like there wasn't more shown really than there was shown in February, but it looks pretty cool. And all of these games are launch titles for the PS4 with the exception of Infamous, which got pushed back to Q1 2014. So you're gonna have to wait a little longer for arguably what the best game is for PS4 right now, according to E3. Then they showed this concept tech demo called the Dark Sorcerer. That I guess I think Quantic Dream is working on it. It looks pretty cool. It looks very realistic. So I don't know if it's going to be a game or something they're messing around with. But the trailer was pretty impressive. Then we come to the indie game reel with Atom Boys. Announcement of a partnership with Supergiant Games, and if you don't know who they are, you probably won't unless you've played a game called Bastion. That was their breakthrough hit. Then they showed off a game called Transistor. It's another isometric, stylish action game, kind of like how Below was during the Xbox conference, something like that. Then Sony goes on to bust their nut about indie games. And I'll admit, even with the new Xbox One news that came out yesterday, the Xbox weakness is still, in my opinion, indie games. I really wish Microsoft would really acknowledge the indie game community, because in my opinion, I think that's what's going to save this industry if it doesn't crash first. You know, if it's not going to crash, I kind of want it to crash, because this shit needs reorganizing big time. If it doesn't crash, then I'd like to see more indie games. I'd like to see like a back to basics approach. That's really what the whole indie scene looks to me as. You know, it's like I said, it's going back to the old days. It's just about picking up a controller and playing a game. Like, what happened to that? Now everyone's worried about budgets and shit. But anyway, I'll move on. There's from Clay Entertainment. These are developer partnerships. They're not exactly games that Sony announced. They announced themselves with Clay Entertainment. They made Don't Starve, tribute games. They made Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Young Heroes. They have IGF nominated game series Octodad. They have Switchblade Monkeys, Ragtag Studios, Red Barrels. They made Outlast. Oddworld Inhabitants is going to be, they're releasing Oddworld New and Tasty, which is a reimaging of the original Outworld. And I actually read a news article that Oddworld Inhabitants was so pissed off about Microsoft wanting them to find a publisher so they can publish their game on Xbox Live that Oddworld New and Tasty is going to be released on every platform except Xbox. You know, and I doubt that's going to be true. I'm sure that'll change in the future, but either way, I don't care. If I get an Xbox, I don't get to play a reboot of the very first Oddworld game. Sound the alarms. I mean, Oddworld's a decent game, but, you know, I'm not going to get a PS4 because of it. Give me a break. Let's see, where was I? Oh, and the last developer, Haunted Temple, they made Skulls of the Shogun, whatever that is. So, cool that Sony's giving the indie developers some love. I wish the Xbox would get that love as well, but, you know, time will tell. Then we showed Diablo 3 again. You're going to get exclusive PlayStation game items. Fuck Diablo 3. And fuck Blizzard, too. Final Fantasy versus... Oh, here's the big bombshell of the Sony conference. Well, no, not the big bombshell, the second biggest bombshell. You all know what the first bombshell is. You've been ratting your fucking mouths about it ever since it happened. But Final Fantasy versus 13, which, you know, probably became the biggest console vaporware title in recent years, is it became Final Fantasy 15. The gameplay trailer, it really looks nothing like Final Fantasy. It looks more like an action game, but it's a Final Fantasy game, and I'm going to go back to what I said before. I don't care about Final Fantasy. I am completely off of the Final Fantasy train. I'm running up the hill and turning around to watch the Final Fantasy train burn in a fiery wreck with everyone inside of it. Alright? And if you're still on the Final Fantasy train, I don't feel sorry for you, and you deserve what's coming to you. Final Fantasy sucks. Final Fantasy has sucked since the turn of the century. Alright? I've given the series so many chances, it's unbelievable. And I've watched, like I said, watch Spoonie's review of Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy 13. You will never want to pick those games up. But of course, God help me if I ever decide to do like a Final Fantasy retrospective in my Mantra series that I'm doing. Just send help. Lots of help and lots of alcohol, because I'm going to probably need it, because I'm going to end up playing through those fucking games, and I'm not going to want to do it. And oh, by the way, Kingdom Hearts 3. And you know, like I watched. I think by this point the Spike TV coverage was over, because I think they only did one day, because, you know, we don't want to keep people watching Spike TV away from watching Dodgeball, the true underdog story, the movie. Fucking, the Spike cares about their prime time that much. But anyway, I was watching this on Game Trailers, I believe, at this point. And one of the worst mistakes you can make on Game Trailers is watching the chat next to the stream, because people in that chat, man, I don't. Ooh. They're so stupid. Like, I'm trying to think of something clever to say, but I just woke up a little while ago, so I'm just going to say they're stupid. You know, Kingdom Hearts 3 came on the screen. Everyone lost their fucking shit. They're like, yay, Sony wins. PS4 wins. Oh, Sony rules. Xbox drools. Do you people honestly think you're going to be playing Kingdom Hearts 3 anytime soon? We'll be lucky if we get this fucking game by 2020. I've read articles too. Square themselves, they talked about it. They said the game is still in very early development, which tells me you're not going to see this fucking game for at least 3 years. At least. Granted, we're probably not going to see Star Wars Battlefront for another 3 years, but I know which one I'm going to be playing first. I know which one's going to be worth the wait. Like, Kingdom Hearts, again, it's an okay game, but it's not, you know, it's not the be-all, end-all of video games that everyone makes it out to be. So, you're just glad to see one after, like, when did the last fucking Kingdom Hearts game come out, like, for a console? I'm not talking about the portable ones. I'm not talking about I think the last ones were spin-offs on portable consoles. Like, didn't Kingdom Hearts 2 proper come out, like, the hell did that come out, like, PS2? Like, almost 10 years ago? Man. That's a lot of faith to have in a spin-off Square series with Disney characters in it. Fuck me. Oh, and Final Fantasy... Yeah, Final Fantasy 14 will be console exclusive. That's fine, you can have it, 'cause it's another shitty MMO. I fucking hate MMOs. Then they showed Assassin's Creed 4 gameplay. It's the same. It really, like, it looks just like Assassin's Creed 3. Like, who are we kidding here? It's gonna be the next Call of Duty. So when Call of Duty finally tanks, wishful thinking, I know, but when it finally tanks, we're gonna have to put up with Assassin's Creed 13. You know, assassinate once again, or some stupid shit. Like, even these Black Flag. You know? Like, even the subtitles are getting dumb. Ugh. Let me see. Oh, and the weird thing about, I don't know if this was intentional or not, but as they were demoing Assassin's Creed 4, like, the gameplay was stuttering, and I guess the game froze and it eventually gave way to Watch Dogs. I don't know if that was intentional or what, but... they announced with Watch Dogs, after showing some more gameplay footage, exclusive costume for Aiden Pierce, the main character, as well as an hour of exclusive gameplay. I'm sure it's not going to be anything big. I'm sure it'll be released on other platforms as well. Don't really care. NBA 2K14 trailer. I think this was the one with LeBron James, where they showed the little, the sports reel between LeBron James actually talking and his character in the video game that's going to be in it. I don't think that was NBA Live. I apologize for that. Looks pretty cool as far as a basketball game goes. Then they showed Elder Scrolls Online. The beta is going to be first on PS4. Mad Max the game is coming out. That looks cool. They announced, like, Road Warrior Survivor DLC kit only on PS4. I don't even know what the fucking game is about, and we already know that PS4 is going to get an exclusive downloadable content kit. Like, why don't you guys focus on making a gameplay trailer for this instead of making DLC? Like, this is the priorities, again, of the game industry. Money first, consumers second. But to get money, we'll make believe, we'll fool the customer base into thinking they're first. So we'll still get our money first. Oldest trick in the book. You people fall for it every single time. And now the bombshell of the conference. Sony basically ripping Microsoft a new asshole. Now, before I go into this, I'm going to say Microsoft did leave themselves wide open for this, and they pretty much deserved it, and I'm very glad it happened. Because now, I read yesterday that Microsoft reversed all of their all the DRM on their console. And this, you know, with Sony, this was a brilliant, I mean brilliant corporate move. This was great. Here's my problem, though. Is there a fucking idiot out there who honestly thinks Sony did this for the consumers? Where Jack Tretton went on, you know, oh, we're gonna have full support for used games. We're not going to have any DRM checks. You're going to trade in games at retail. You can sell it to another person, lend it to a friend, or keep it forever, whatever. And your PlayStation Plus subscription carries over to PS4 and remains unchanged. I'll tell you why they did this, and it's not for the consumers. They did this to make more money. They did it to steal consumers away from the Xbox and make more money for themselves. And really, Microsoft has no one to blame but themselves, like I just said. But people are misinterpreting it as, oh, I love you, Sony. PS4 for the win. Oh, Sony's the savior of console gaming. Oh, Sony loves us so much. Yeah? How's that Kool-Aid taste, Sony fanboys? Like I said, Microsoft reversed all the DRM on their consoles. Granted, they didn't probably do it because of console reactions. They probably did it because they knew they fucked up, and it's probably the biggest backpedal I've ever seen in the video game industry, and they knew they were going to lose money. And I totally called this with a couple co-workers at work, because we have this discussion every other day just about what's going on in the game industry and how awesome games used to be and all that stuff. But lost my train of thought. Now that they dropped the DRM on their console, Sony really has, there goes their entire marketing strategy. And every single one of you who went to fucking Amazon.com and pre-ordered a PS4, congratulations, you're an idiot. You played right into Sony's hands. You fell for their little marketing stunt they did against Microsoft, hook, line, and sinker. And then these fucking entitled pieces of shit. Like, I read an article before I started taping this video just now about how, you know, reactions like on IGN.com, how people reacted to Microsoft turning around their DRM, doing the 180 that everyone's calling it. People are saying, oh, too little too late, Microsoft. Hashtag PS4 for the win. Oh, what makes you think it's not gonna, that they're not going to reverse that and still put it on the Xbox One in a few years? What makes you think that Sony's not going to do the same thing in a few years? Because it's not like Sony modifies their console and takes away features against your will, right? Oh wait, that's right. That's what happened with the other OS fiasco with the PS3, which pissed off every known pirate in the world and got their system hacked. And I called this. Like I said, I thought they were going to do it a little bit later. Microsoft didn't even make it 2 weeks out of E3, which I thought was hilarious. They knew they fucked up. They were getting a shitstorm. They were getting emails. Any type of contact they could get from consumers, they got it. I said at work, I said, as sure as I'm sitting here, I said, look, they're either going to do some damage control and some major backpedaling, or this system's going to come out the way it is, and pirates are going to hack the ever-loving shit out of it. It's going to happen. But Microsoft made the right choice, and they took out all the DRM out of their console. Now all they have to do is, I wish they would let indie games self-publish on their console, and it would be a great console. But the way it stands right now, I'm most likely going to get an Xbox One on day one. Yeah. I have other reasons for that too, but It's just a personal preference of mine. I'll still get a PS4 down the road. I'll still get a 3DS and a Vita and a Wii U down the road. You know, it's just, you know, how, like, it depends, again, what games come out for it and what if they go on sale or not. I'm not paying full price for the consoles, I'll tell you that right now. But yeah, thank God Sony did this, because I think it really helped Microsoft in reversing their decision. That's the best thing that came out of it. But do not kid yourselves into thinking Sony loves you and cares about you, and oh, they're gonna cradle you in their arms and give you your baba and put you to sleep, and you know, go to Oshkosh or whatever, or Babies R Us, and buy you cute little outfits and cradle you and take care of you. And really, this is why gamers are so easy. I saw right through their little ploy. I'm like, oh, okay, it was clever, I'll give them that, but I knew exactly what they were doing. You fucking break. Then Andrew House comes out, rags on Microsoft even more. The Gaikai Cloud service is coming in 2014 with streaming PS3 games starting in the US. I'll believe that when I see it. And he announces the price point. It's $100 less than the Xbox One. Whoop-de-frickin-do. Like I said in my last video, console fanboyism is stupid. I'm going to buy an Xbox One. That's just my personal preference. I know I'm probably going to be berated for it. I really don't fucking give a shit. You Sony fanboys can kiss my ass, and you can give me a reach around and fondle my balls while you're at it. I really don't care. You know, like, I'm going to get a PS4 eventually. I just prefer the Xbox more. I prefer the controller. I prefer the way the system works. The infrastructure with Xbox Live. Most of my friends are on Xbox Live. And I just think they have better exclusives right now. Like I said with Final Fantasy 15 and Kingdom Hearts 3, those are going to be on Xbox too. They're not exclusives.